The secret to semen retention, how music affects your journey. So what is semen retention? So semen retention involves abstaining from ejaculation deliberately. Now it's more than just that, but that's just to give a simple definition of it. It's aimed at conserving and redirecting energy within the body. Without this, semen retention is pointless, guys. If you are not transmuting, you are wasting your time. I have a video about this where I talk a lot more about it, so make sure to check that out. I'm gonna link it at the end of this video, right? It's found in different traditions like Taoism that was founded all the way back in 500 BC, so this didn't just pop up yesterday. It's been practiced for a long time now, so it's been around. A lot of people have done it. It's often pursued for self-control, discipline, and spiritual growth, and this is the real reason you should be on it, not for women, guys. Please do not get on semen retention for women. It's just not the best thing to do, right? So that's just a quick overview of what semen retention is. So why is this important, right? This is important because music equals spirits. There's spirits in music, guys. Like, if you don't believe this, I honestly don't know what to tell you, right? Now, these spirits differ, and they all bring different thoughts to your mind, but it's for sure that music heavily influences your thoughts and your decisions, right? There is no doubt about this. If you are still doubtful about it, we're going to cover this later, so just make sure to stay tuned, right? Without taking the right approach, you could be leading yourself into temptations without even knowing it, right? All it takes is one wrong step, and it could lead to a relapse. It's like walking through a landmine blindfolded, right? It's only a matter of time before you go boom. All you got to do is step on that one little thing, right? Click on that one wrong video, look at that one wrong post, and then you just gonna go boom, right? So it's very important to understand what you're putting in, the spirits that you're allowing into yourself through the music that you listen to. So up next, we got a quote from Lao Tzu, right? This is the founder of Taoism, as we mentioned earlier, and it says this, right? It says, "Watch your thoughts, they become words. Watch your words, they become actions. Watch your actions, they become habits. Watch your habits, they become your character. And watch your character because it becomes your destiny." So just to kind of give a little bit of an illustration, this is what that quote looks like. So you see it starts off with thoughts, then goes to words, actions, habits, character, and then it eventually leads up to your destiny, right? And this is another one to just kind of illustrate it. So you see it starts off with thoughts, which is what we think, and then it leads to emotions, which is what we feel, and that influences our behavior, which is what we actually do. And this is pretty much a cycle, and it's a recurrent thing. So what does this all mean, right? So this means that thoughts start off small, but eventually lead up to something bigger, right? And this is ultimately your destiny or who you will become, right? So that means that whatever you think about yourself is eventually what you will become, right? And this is why you need to be very careful about what you're listening to on this journey. And that goes even beyond just the scope of music. That goes to, how you talk about yourself, right? How you allow what other people say about you to influence you, right? It's just so many other things, right? And I'm gonna make a video talking about this more soon, but it's very important to make sure that you're being careful about what you're listening to on this journey, right? So I want to bring up another quote by Confucius, and it says, "The man who thinks he can and the man who thinks he can't are both right." So what does that mean, right? That means that the power of life and death are in the tongue, right? It even says that in the Bible, right? There's so many different, quotes and things I can pull up about beliefs and things and why it's important, but this is just to give a few, right? So if you don't think you can succeed in any aspect of life, then the reality is you're probably not going to. If you don't think you can, then you're more than likely you just won't. And that just goes with anything. That goes with starting a business. That goes with, talking to women. It goes to anything. If you don't believe in yourself, you're more than likely not going to accomplish it. It's not just going to come knocking at your door. You got to go out there and you got to chase it, bro. If you don't think that you can actually get it, then, I hate to break it to you, more than likely just not going to, right? So there's nothing wrong with you for this. It's just simply because you don't believe you can, right? So the first step is to believe that you can. And what this means is that once you change your mindset, you can start to win, right? And this happened to me personally. I became a YouTuber when I started to tell myself that I was a YouTuber. It wasn't, I just went and found something or something just popped up one day. No, I had everything that I needed from the get-go, right? But it only came to fruition when I told myself that this was meant for me, that this is what I was supposed to be doing, right? When I started to tell myself I could do it, that's when everything changed, right? And now an absolute pool of opportunity has opened up for me now that I've finally, told myself I can do this. And that's all that it took, right? That's why my name is just, I'm just Brian, because that's all I've been doing is this whole time. You can go back to my first video. That's all I've been doing is just being me. And it's worked out for me so far. And I promise you it will work out the same for you as well. Just be yourself, bro. I promise you. And my sister and I, we talk about this all the time, right? There's a quote from this book. It's called Who Moved My Cheese? It's a great book. I recommend that you read it, right? But there's a part of it that sticks out, and it says, what would you do if you weren't afraid, right? What would you do, right? What this means is that you more than likely haven't done something yet because you're afraid. And you've become afraid because of the different voices that you've heard throughout your life, right? Whatever it is, if you weren't afraid, you do it, right? So just remember that. But anyways, let's get back to it, right? So how to know if you should change your music. So you need to change the type of music you listen to if it falls under these 5 categories. Number 1, it has a lot of sexually suggestive lyrics, right? So if it's describing it or talking about it, right? It's just not smart to listen to songs about sex while you're trying to abstain from sex, guys. Like, it just doesn't make sense. It contradicts, it doesn't align, it's going to pull you one way or the other, right? So it's best to just not listen to anything that talks anything about it while you're trying to not do it, right? Number 2 is that it doesn't have a positive message or positive energy, right? So a good example of this is like drill music, right? And they're talking about, oh, I'm smoking on him, oh, I'm smoking on them, like I'm on demon time. Like, seriously? Now, don't get me wrong, that's their life, that's their decision, they can do what they want. But if you're trying to be on semen retention, you can't be listening to this, because it's all about, keeping positive energy around you. And if you're listening to music that doesn't have positive energy, again, it's just contradicting, it's going to pull you one way or the other, right? Number 3 is it provokes you to commit immoral action. So what is immoral, right? Things that don't necessarily line up to people's values, to people's standards, to people's beliefs, right? So a good example of this is like, stealing, robbing people. If it makes you want to fight somebody, guys, please do not steal. Please don't hit people. It's just not okay. There's a lot of better things that you could be doing with your time than trying to do that. So stay away from music that provokes you to do that, right? Number 4 is that it doesn't leave you in a better mood or frame of mind. So me personally, right, I used to love listening to Juice WRLD, right? I remember when he first came out, I liked him a lot for his transparency. I get that he wasn't talking about the best topics, but, he was real about it, and that's what I liked about him the most. But it just hits too hard now that, he's gone, he passed away, and it's just very hard, like, to listen to it. Certain songs, it's so much pain behind it. It's like, it just hits different that they're gone. And you remember that. So, it doesn't leave me in a good mood unless it's like a hype song, unless I'm listening to like one of his hype songs. It doesn't, leave me in a good mood. It doesn't really, energize me and put me in a good position, right? So, as much as I like listening to him, I had to just kind of separate myself from that just because of the tone and the mood of that music. It's just not the best for me while I'm trying to retain, right? And number 5 is that it is excessively energetic. So like, this is like hype music. Anything that gets you a little too turned up, right? Something that may make you say something that you shouldn't be saying, or talk about something that you shouldn't be talking about, or doing something that you shouldn't be doing, right? Anything that causes you to, maybe get a little too excited is not the best for you to be listening to. All right, so this next part is going to be for all the naysayers that are going to come on here and be like, oh, there's no science, oh, you're just talking, you can't show it. I'm finna show it right here, right? So these are some studies supporting the claims that we've made throughout this video so far. So the first one is a study published in Frontiers in Psychology back in 2013 highlighted that music can significantly influence emotional states by activating brain regions involved in processing emotions, such as the amygdala and prefrontal cortex. Different genres of music were found to elicit distinct emotional responses from relaxation to excitement. All right, that was the first one. The second one, research from the Journal of Music Therapy in 2001 explored how music therapy interventions can improve attention and focus among individuals with attention disorders. The study found that music with a moderate tempo and soothing melodies helped enhance concentration and reduce distractions, right? That's the second one. The third one is an article in Psychology of Music published in 2011 reviewed studies demonstrating that music with a fast tempo and strong beat can increase heart rate and, get this, energy levels, right? This is proven. This was a study. Somebody sat here and actually observed this. This is a real correlation, right? Suggesting its potential to boost physical vitality and motivation. So what do we see here, right? We see a clear and scientific connection between different genres and tempos of music and people's different reactions to them, right? This is real, guys. Like, stop trying to tell yourself it's not real. Like, there's real correlation. Like, everything you see is not fake. Some things are actually real, right? So now that we've established the science behind all this, let's get into what types of music are the best for you. So in my honest opinion, it's whatever works best for you. Everyone is different, so there's no clear-cut answer to this. I would say don't be afraid to try new things and, find your own balance, right? But you have to be able to discern from what you should be listening to from what you shouldn't be listening to, right? And this just comes down to your own personal intuition that you will build on semen retention, right? Because you got to understand that discernment is a skill, right? You're not born with it. You're not, discerning from a child. You can kind of tell a little bit, but you definitely learn right from wrong as you get older, which means that this is a learned behavior, right? Now, thankfully, you're already practicing discernment on semen retention through, discerning through what you should be watching on social media, how much time you should be spending doing certain things, right? Putting your energy into the right places. You're already using discernment in order to be able to do that. So, you're already okay and you're already cool in that part. But if it's not encouraging you to abandon your morals, then I would say it's okay. Obviously it's best to listen to music that puts you in a good mood and does all that stuff for you. But it's okay to branch out into different genres as long as it's not, causing you to do anything crazy, right? Causing you to do any of the things that we just talked about. So what are the takeaways, right? So what I want you to take away from this video is that, number one, there are spirits that enter you through the form of music, right? Be careful what you're listening to on this journey. It definitely matters, right? Watch out for the things that they're saying because, again, your thoughts will eventually become your words and yada, 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 all the way up to your destiny, right? Eventually will become who you are. Number two, how you think of yourself is who you are, right? This can be either good or bad. It's up to you to choose, right? Again, as a man thinks, so he is, right? Whatever you think you can do, and you can't do, you are more than likely right. So if you want to do something, don't tell yourself that you can't do it. Tell yourself that you can do it so you can actually go do it, bro. It's common sense. Number three is if the music you're listening to is leading you to negative thoughts, it's best for you to change it. And number four, it's up to you to find what works best for you. Everyone is different, so don't be afraid to be yourself. Now, with that being said, that's all for me. If you like this video, please like the video. I'll be watching my analytics and 99% of y'all do not like the video. Please make sure to like the video. It helps me get this message out. It helps me to get more exposure. And if you like the content, again, don't forget to subscribe so you can get more bangers just like this. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.